Hey Cowichan, it's Alec Wheeler, Events and Membership Manager with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce, and we're here with another session of Biz Banter. I have with me today Peter Richmond, President of 49th Parallel Grocery. Peter, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome, Alec. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, virtually.
Virtually.
not in person, right. But it's the new normal these days.
It is.
Speaking of which, we are in crazy times and things are changing rapidly every day. But I want to go back a little bit and talk about when this all first hit the fan in March and how that affected the grocery industry. Now, unlike healthcare workers, grocery store staff didn't sign up for high-risk careers when they applied for these jobs, and yet here they are. Providing essential services at the front line of a global pandemic. So can you talk to me a little bit about how your teams on the island have been coping with that and
Sure.
What 49th Parallel has been doing to kind of support them through it?
Well, you're absolutely right, Alex. Certainly when things started, we were run off our feet a little bit. Lots of changes coming at us from all different angles, whether they be the public health officer or Vancouver Island Health Authority. Thankfully, we've got lots of resources to pull on. Canadian Federation of Independent Grocer, as well as CFIB. We're also a big help, and the Chamber has also been a good help as well. So lots of things were thrown at us right away there, and our team has been amazing in terms of how we've responded and been able to pick up and serve our communities. We feel quite proud of that. I mean, in our 4 stores, we're not a huge company. We have 275 employees. So I'll turn that sound off, hopefully. I don't know if that's even a year. You know, things happened at the start. Of course, we had people that were not feeling well. So anybody that wasn't feeling well at all, we asked to stay home. We had staff that were worried about older parents or their children being out of school, so we were running with probably about 60 fewer people than normal.
Wow.
We ended up hiring about 25 temporary people to help us through this. But the long and short of it is our team has worked extremely hard to serve our communities. And they've been very deserving. Very early on in March, we added $2 an hour to all of their pay. And like I say, it's been very well deserved. They've all been working very hard in order to serve the community. At the end of the day, I mean, our company vision really didn't change. But of course, the way that we're doing things is changing. Lots of things we're doing, and I think some of those changes will be permanent. We can talk more about that. But at the end of the day, we wanted to be here to continue to play a big part in the daily lives of our communities, and that to us means just doing what we're doing, right from keeping the shelves stocked to the best of our ability. We've certainly seen a run on all different products, from toilet paper at the start to flour and rice and other staples, people back to basics. So trying to respond the best way that we could is what we're all about, as well as delivering to as many people as have been quarantined or staying at home. We've tried to pick up that in our communities too, and that's been a challenge as well, trying to find shoppers and delivery drivers and again, just keep the product flowing. We're not really set up for the amount of deliveries that we're responding to, but it's we're holding our own.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned you were one of the first grocery stores that implemented the $2 an hour pay raise. You were also one of the first to have the plexiglass dividers installed. Now, you know, with PPE and equipment like that being so high in demand, how did you go about sourcing that, and how are you keeping up with that demand that you mentioned of, you know, cleaning supplies and general supplies, not just for your staff but for customers? And I have to say that I remember early one time going grocery shopping, and I think I hit, you know, probably 4 stores before I finally got to the local 49th Parallel here in Duncan and managed to find toilet paper and cleaner. So I was very appreciative of that. So how are you doing it?
Well, like I say, everybody pulling together, but I have to give a shout out to my two maintenance guys, my maintenance team, Jerry and Cecil. The two of them, I mean, we jumped on it right away. They ran out and bought as much plexiglass as they could,
No.
and they worked overnight, all night that week, or all week, putting the plexiglass up at the stores and trying to create as safe an environment everywhere as possible. And then back to keeping things in stock. I mean, really, it's all of us pulling together. One of the benefits of being an independent is that we can shop around. We're fortunate that we have 3 or 4 or 5 suppliers that we can pull from. So we, it's a little bit extra work, but of course, if one person's out, hopefully the other 3 are not out of that product, so we can shop around, and we've done a very good job, like I say, of keeping in stock in most places.
Great. So it's well known that you are working on a new location in Duncan. It's going to be by the roundabout near Sherman Road and Cowichan Lake Road there.
That's right.
Can you speak to me a little bit about how the pandemic affected progress, if it did? And with the pandemic, health officials are saying coronavirus is going to be with us for a while and that we need to adjust to the new normal. So has it changed any of your store layout or design plans?
Well, yes, it is. We are reviewing a number of things right now. It will affect the store layout for sure. We actually had, well, first of all, the project is moving along very well. There have been very few delays in terms of the project from a construction standpoint. They're ahead of schedule right now. The weather has been very dry and very conducive to construction, and most of the steel is up and things are proceeding really, really well there. They, of course, have instituted some safety measures on site there. Everybody gets checked before they start work, and there's extra protocols in the construction industry. I can't even begin to talk about them all, but there is a lot, but things are moving along very nicely. We're still on schedule to be open probably early in the next year, so February of 2021. We'll put that out there. But changes in the store, we still are dealing with a number of things in store. For example, we closed our cafes very early on because we have small seating areas for sitting down and enjoying a cup of coffee either before or after you're shopping. And we just reopened our cafe for takeout today. And we're still trying to learn moving forward how our cafes seating areas can reopen and how best to utilize them. And of course, parts of our bulk foods are still closed. And we'll be looking at changing that from, anything where there's a bin that people are going into, as opposed to a gravity feed bin where the product comes out. We're probably likely changing that to prepackaged items. And unfortunately, we did have a customer service area planned where we were going to have back-to-back checkouts, creating what we were hoping was a better flow out of the store. But unfortunately, that likely won't work because that forces 2 customer lines right down beside each other.
Right.
But that will be a kind of a significant change that we're just working through right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing, the ripple effects of this for, months and even years. And as you say, some of the positives that have come out of this is I think businesses are learning or having to adapt on the fly, but they're coming up with processes or innovations that are actually a benefit to the business, and ones that they're holding on to moving forward, regardless of what's going on with the pandemic. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we are a smaller store, so it can be hard sometimes finding. We're using one-way aisles, for example, and queuing spots. But of course, people are still learning and finding ways to keep our social distance. But we have made a lot of improvements. I mean, absolutely, the whole cleaning regime has changed. Our structure for maintaining cleanliness and sanitizing throughout the store has improved. There's no doubt about it. And that's a good thing. It is. At the end of the day, we want to have the safest shopping environment possible. And I think all these things with, we make sure that shopping carts and hand baskets are all cleaned in between uses. And like I say, those will certainly be good things that will be here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're officially in phase 2 now of BC's restart plan. And what's your take on the province's approach and how they're balancing kind of public safety with support and getting the economy back up and running? What's your take, and how do you think things are going to change for you in this next phase?
Yeah, it's hard to have a comment on what everybody else has gone through. We've been holding ourselves by the seat of our pants in our own business here, but I can honestly say that it'll be challenging for a lot of businesses out there, and we only hope that things will open up sooner rather than later. I'm in desperate need of a haircut and a few other things, and we really want to get out and support all of our local communities, our businesses. So I think it's important to have the safety measures in place for sure, but it would be nice to get out and support some of these businesses soon. And it's exciting. I've heard that there are quite a few local restaurants and pubs that will be opening this week. So that's excellent news, and looking forward to visiting them all soon.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Peter, that you want to offer up, some final thoughts or words of encouragement to the business community?
Well, I will say that our community has been amazing. It really has. The support that we've received has been incredible. I mean, it's hard to even speak on all of them. There's so many good things that have happened over the 2 months, and like I say, we've held on. It's been quite a ride, but we're doing a food bank fundraiser right now to help all of our local food banks through our 4 stores. And we've got an overwhelming response. I mean, we, as a company, decided that we would match up to $10,000, thinking that would be a great goal. But so far, we were over $25,000 in donations through the communities, through our 4 stores. So we'll be adding at least 10,000 to that, and spreading that out at the end of the month here. Runs until the 31st. But we've had even customers that have donated to our staff. It's unbelievable how generous people have been and supportive. So it's been good. We've enjoyed serving the community through this, but we're hoping that everybody else gets back up and running here too.
Excellent. Well, listen, we're going to keep it short and sweet today. Thank you, Peter, so much for joining us, and great to hear of everything going forward with the new location. I'm a little biased because I live around the corner, and looking forward to walking to my local grocery store very soon.
Look forward to serving you there. It's going to be a beautiful store.
Absolutely. Will you be at the at the cafe with an apron on, making my latte?
Most likely, I might be the new greeter at the front door.
Excellent.
Right.
Looking forward to that one. Again, thanks so much for joining us, Peter. That's been another session of Biz Banter with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce and 49th Parallel Grocery.
Thank you.